Soldier of Christ reporting for duty. How's it going, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well and staying safe. Today, what I wanted to talk about, is how a lot of times people, pretend that being a Christian sort of means that it's a race. And yes, even Paul himself sort of referenced, Christianity being a race, in saying, I finished the race. But in reality, I believe it could be looked at more as sort of a marathon. And the reason for that is because sort of like when you're in a race, it's something that, you try to finish the quickest. It's something that you try to, it's something that uses like short burst of energy, but the energy is like highly highly explosive. I'm trying to, I can't think of the word right now, but it's sort of like this high explosion energy, and it's usually competitive and something that you try to finish the quickest. And sure, marathons might be like that, but with marathons it's more so something along the lines of being able to finish the race, or not the race, the marathon, with a set amount of time. But the marathon is more so, it's usually not as competitive. There are competitive marathons, but marathons tend to be sort of like, even you can describe them as more like social events, or there might even be one for charity or whatnot. And it's more so, structured along the lines of, it being like something that, you do over a long period of time, which is, race tends to be something that is very short. And that's something that, is very applicable to the Christian faith, because the reason for that is because a lot of times, when people are new to the faith, when people become new Christians, they want to become, like a lot of times they want to become the best Christian possible. And, they're like, they try to, jump into it, and they try to do something where the point is, they try to become an expert at it. But, a lot of times, when they become sort of, into the faith, they might even, sort of, I don't want to say burnt out by it, but, it becomes overwhelming trying to, become, I guess, the best Christian you can be, in a short period of time. And, that really affects people negatively, because when people become Christians, a lot of times they think, they have to be, the holiest person they know right away, or the best Christian out there. But really, a lot of times that's not the case, and it's something that's very difficult for a lot of people to do. But when you sort of look at being a Christian as a marathon, you're able to better pace yourself, and you're able to sort of, stay in the faith longer. Because when people look at Christianity as a race, it's something that, is something where, they might give up on it because, they feel like they're, they might be messing up here or there too much. And, they might be like, when they trip and fall hard. But when you look at it as a marathon, it's something to the point where, yes, you might trip and fall, just as much as, if you are in a race. But when you trip and fall, it's not, it's not something that's going to hurt you as bad, because, you know that you're going to make mistakes, and that, you can't be perfect, because, that's sort of just like the human condition that, we're not made to be perfect. And when you understand that, when you're running sort of like a marathon of being a Christian, you have to take things slow. You have to understand that, if you try, too hard at first, you're going to be sort of like burnt out by it. And I'm not saying, you shouldn't try to, become the best Christian you can be. But when you put so much time and so much effort into it, and then chances are you might get discouraged, when things aren't working out your way. But when you treat it as a marathon, marathons take time, they take effort, and they take practice, to be able to complete them. So really what you need to do, what is usually best to do, is to sort of understand that. And when you understand that, usually you're able to stay in the faith more, and you won't get discouraged, because even though you make these mistakes, it's easier to sort of not give up. And when you don't give up, you're able to stay in the faith as long as possible, and you're not likely to fall from God, because you're continuously getting better and not trying to like force it and overwhelm yourself all at once. I hope that's helpful to everyone. I know some might disagree with that, but it's always helped me to really to sort of ease into the faith, and not to sort of become the best Christian I can be right away, because I'm someone that can get overwhelmed very easily, and I'm someone that learns best when I take things slow. And I hope other people might be able to benefit from something like this. And if you're new to the channel, please perhaps consider subscribing and leaving a like if you enjoyed the video. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, Soldier of Christ, out.